We are streaming. It is time for Clubhouse Chatter. Here's Storm and Norman.
Well, good morning, know-it-alls, and good morning from rainy Oregon. And I'm sure where our next guest is from, I'm sure it's not raining right now. At least I hope not. I hope you got some sun out there, Kel. Kel Johnson, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. We do have some sun. It's a tad bit cloudy, but it's nothing like Oregon, I'm sure. It's always raining out there, huh?
It is raining and cool. So Kel Johnson is a Georgia boy, and you're from the Atlanta area, correct?
That's right, on the south side.
All right, and he is a member of the U18 national baseball team. So Team USA, and there's Kel right there. His little baseball card there. That's pretty cool. I got to give me one of those. So Kel, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, baseball is life. This past summer, with my time spent on Team USA, was definitely the greatest experience of my life. As you touched on briefly, you know that USA Baseball is a class act, and I feel very blessed to be a part of that organization and be a USA alumni. I believe that's the highlight of my career up to this point. But I've been playing baseball since I was, knees and elbows, since I was 4 years old, and just been working hard ever since, with one goal in mind.
Absolutely. And so growing up playing baseball, who inspired you?
Well, that's actually a pretty easy one. My mom has always been my greatest role model and inspiration, as I pursue baseball, because my dad's always been a huge supporter of what I'm doing. But, if it wasn't for my mom, I'm not going to lie to you, I wouldn't be playing this game. Since when I was 4, she signed me up, and she said I was sitting in the outfield, looking for 4-leaf clover and watching airplanes go over. And she was like, well, if we got to try a different sport, But over the years, my love for the game, started to grow and grow, and she wasn't like a pusher at all. She just said, are you enjoying it? You having fun? I said, yes, ma'am. It started to grow on me until it just, became a passion and just enveloped me and became, all I wanted to do,
Right. And she also serves as your batting practice pitcher, correct?
That's right. That's actually something I had a chance to speak about during the All-American game out there in San Diego with the MLB Network reporter during the game. I think it was the 4th inning. He came over and just wanted to speak with me about who's sacrificed the most for me, and that was a no-brainer as well. My mom doing my batting practice, it's a pretty unique sacrifice. Most people can't really, relate to that. It's always been their dad. And, my dad, like I said, he's been a supporter, but he's a big hunter. He's more on the, us down here in Georgia. I don't know how it is in Portland, but, a lot of hunting and stuff. And that's kind of, it's rounded me, but he hasn't been more on the baseball side, as far as showing me my batting practice. That's all come from my mom. So that's been a huge blessing.
So now we were talking a little bit yesterday on the phone, and you had brought up the home run contest. And so you have a story about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, I was standing on Georgia Tech's field, my future college home, and it was my first time ever playing there. I'll never forget. I had just showed up, and I heard my phone ring in my backpack, and I pulled it out and looked at it, and it was a number I didn't know. It was a different area code, and I answered, and it was actually a conference room full of people with the MLB, including Brent Huss with USA Baseball, the director of USA Baseball, and they were basically inviting me to fly up to New York along with a few other high school guys and just try to hit the long ball, so you could hit the most out in a preliminary home run derby, and the top 2 finalists got to advance and actually hit it out in the big league derby. And I was like, excuse me, can you say that again? The big league home run derby, the one I've watched every year. I was 5, and he was like, yeah, and I was like, so what if you, just thinking about it, I was like, no, what if you don't make it? He's like, well, you still get a ticket to the derby. You still get to sit, on field level. I was like, wow, okay, yeah, I'll fly up there. So I went up there and I was able to make the first preliminary cut. I was actually the leader after day 1 with, I want to say 11 home runs. Wow. And then Jake was second with 9 on that first round. And then there were a few other guys close. Everybody swung the bat well, but we actually, we got that opportunity to hit. And, they told us, I was like, so are we going to be like out on the field? They said, oh, we don't know how it's going to be yet. I show up for the derby, the next day they have my locker in there, with my jersey hanging in it. I had chosen to represent the Braves, being my hometown team.
Right.
They had a Braves jersey patch, and they had my number 25, and the bright orange National League jerseys that they wore this year. And I got to hang out with some of the pro guys. Spoke with David Wright. I was a little jittery. I was like, "So, David, do you have any advice to calm the nerves?" And me and Gatewood both we were just standing there chatting with him. And he was like, "Well, do y'all have any advice to calm my nerves?" He said, "This doesn't ever get any easier. The home run derby is spotlight on you, and that just really made me realize, these guys are human too, you know what I'm saying? Because you always see them on TV, and it's more like, you just don't really make that connection."
Absolutely. And, one of my stories about that would be 2006, I was in Lancaster, California. I was a clubhouse manager, and Brett Butler was our manager. Former Brave, and very first time I ever talked to him, that was his deal. His rule number one was, he was a human being. He was just one of the guys, and he was no different than I was. And so, that's cool that David was like that with you.
Right.
So you talked a little bit about. Let's talk a little bit about your summer experience with the East Cobb Braves. And
well, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead and talk a little bit about that.
All right, yeah. So basically, I've been a part of East Cobb since I was, 13 years old. You kind of have to make the transition at some point when you're a Georgia ball player. It's just a matter of when you want to go over to East Cobb. If you're that level, of a player, because they have a definitely elite program, at all ages from 13 to 18. And so when it came time, 13 I went over there and played. 13 I just played pickup for a few tournaments at the end of the year, and then 14 I was a full-time East Cobb guy, and ever since I've been full-time East Cobb, and it's been definitely awesome for me. I have all good things to say, because you're going to hear mixed reviews. Oh, East Cobb guys, this, that, and the other. East Cobb coaching, this, that, and the other. Well, I can say from experience, it's quite a phenomenal program. They have good development. There isn't a ton of practice as a team because we have so many out-of-town guys, but definitely it's elite in-game coaching. We play 100 games a year. Most of the coaching is in-game. You get the best competition. And I was blessed to win 7 national championships, including the USSSA Elite World Series at the 13 to 14-year-old level, Perfect Game BCS, and Perfect Game WWBA, which is World Wood Bat. At the 15U level, I won the Cobb at the 16U level, and then I feel like I'm leaving one or two out. But there was also the Jupiter WWBA at the 17U and 18U level. So it was definitely quite an experience getting to play alongside some awesome guys. Some of the guys that are actually in minor leagues now. There was actually a couple of first-round guys last year that I had played with a lot. And it's just been cool to talk to them about their experience now. And what pro ball's like, and it's definitely been something else, to just build that relationship with top level ball players throughout my career.
Right, and I've noticed, watching, that level of baseball, you see the World Series on TV, CBS or ESPN or whatever, and East Cobb, you always see East Cobb, you always see like the Banditos out of Texas, and usually there's like a Louisiana team kind of thrown in. Usually from the New Orleans area and stuff like that. So, yeah, East Cobb is a pretty big deal. So now, growing up in Georgia, so obviously you're a Braves fan.
Right. Yeah, always pulling for the Braves. Good old Chipper Jones.
And is Chipper your favorite?
Well, growing up, my brother loved Chipper growing up, but ever since Josh Hamilton became a big guy, I've been a Josh Hamilton fan, and he's been my favorite player just because I see, of course that's just me talking, but I see some similarities in it. Just pick up a bat, because he said, he kind of had some struggles during his career, and then he said after about, I think it was like a year and a half, he hadn't even picked up a bat. He just walked out and just started, just mashing balls out of the park. I probably couldn't do that after a year and a half, but it just seems like, that's my tool, to pick up a bat and just hit the ball a long way. So I like the way he plays.
Right. So I grew up in Idaho, and I grew up a Braves fan. WTBS was pretty much at the time the only thing to where we can get baseball on a nightly basis. So I grew up, Dale Murphy is my all-time favorite Brave.
Nice.
But I can relate, with Chipper, watching the Braves, and I like Chipper. And do you have like a favorite Brave on the team today? I mean, like Ugla or anybody?
I'd probably have to say Evan Gaddis.
Yeah.
He just gets in there with no batting gloves. El Oso Blanco just takes hack. You know what I'm saying? I like that kind of player. Just nitty gritty. Just gets in there and swings it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say Freddie Freeman for myself, and I did pick Freddie to win the National League Most Valuable Player award this year. So,
okay.
Go Braves. Let's hope that they're in a tough division. With the Nationals and everybody else, but go Braves. So, what was the best advice that anybody has ever given you?
Ooh, that one might take me a second. Best advice I've ever been given. You know what? There's a few come to mind. I might have to go with what my uncle told me. Uncle Eddie Taylor. He played in college ball, won a college World Series, and then he was drafted. He was drafted out of high school and again out of college. But he told me, he said, you're going to have a lot of people say a lot of things about you in your career. You're going to see a lot of things in newspapers and magazines about you. He said, and just remember this, never believe the press. Mm-hmm. He said, because it's always going to be either too high or too low on you. He said, just do what you do.
Right.
And I think that's probably the thing that comes up more than anything else. You're going to have people, what us teenagers call haters. You're going to have people just talking badly about you at all levels that you go, and the farther you go, the more of that you're going to have. So I think that's probably the single, greatest piece of advice that keeps me on my path every day.
And what advice, you're doing a baseball camp and you're talking with the youngsters that are at the baseball camp, what advice would you give them?
Well, your family's got to have a place. Your faith's got to have a place. Your school's got to have a place. But to be great, the one thing I can say is you have to love the game. Just live it, eat it, sleep it, breathe it. You have to just fall in love with it. And that's hitting has to become a part of you. The bat, I'll say to my mom, sometimes if I'm not feeling it, I'll be like, Mom, the bat just it doesn't feel like an extension of my arm right now. I'm just a little off. Because you just have to, that bat's just got to feel like part of you. Hit so much, and I think that's just one thing that separates guys. I've seen guys coming up who have the talent, have the natural, God-given ability, and then they just can't. They don't have the work drive. They don't have the determination to just take it to that next level, and that's hurt more great athletes than anything I've ever seen.
Right. So now you have traveled with Team USA, and do you have a favorite place you have played, and is there a not-so-favorite place that you have played?
Let me think about that one. A favorite place? Ooh. Probably, obviously the favorite place I've ever hit was in City Field during the home run derby, but I guess I'm kind of biased because it was, a packed stadium,
Right.
But, not so favorite. I'm not going to lie. Taiwan was pretty brutal. You got terrible smells when you're walking through the tunnels and stuff. It wasn't the greatest playing conditions, and it's hot and humid. I'm not going to say that's the worst place I've ever played, but it wasn't exactly like we're used to, and everything was so low in the hotel rooms. It was made for people about 3.5 feet tall. It seemed like it felt like you were sleeping on the ground, and the bed was about half normal height of a bed. And it was just it was just made for a different race of people, I guess.
Right. So now, what is your plan for the future? So you're getting ready to you're going into school ball right now, and then you've got summer ball. Are you waiting to kind of see where you fall in the draft, or?
Well, basically, right now I'm just having fun playing the game. There's still a lot of stuff up in the air. It's another several months until June when the draft is. And I'm actually homeschooled, so this time of year is a little unique for me. I play with a club team, not just your regular high school team. And some guys homeschooled play on it. Some guys who go to high school play on it that say just don't click with their high school coach or
right.
just, don't get along, whatever. And we're a decent team. We've got, I think we have 4 or 5 guys who are D1 commits on the team.
Wow.
So we keep a pretty good competition level there, and yeah, as far as I mean, just like I said, just having fun playing right now.
Nice. All right, so my final question, I'm going to put you on the spot, and I do this with all my guests. So what are your top 5 songs of all time?
Top 5 songs?
Top 5 songs.
All right, so number 1, I'm going to have to go with Chris Cagle, Chicks Dig It. I've listened to it since I was about 11 years old, and I actually use it as my walk-up song now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I have to throw that one out there. Goodness. I'm trying to think of some that aren't embarrassing here, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big country guy. Toby Keith, I'm trying to think of the best. Let's go with Florida Georgia Line Cruise. That's
Nice.
got to be up there. I used that as my walk up in the All-American game out there in San Diego, and I saw some tweets going up after the game. Kel Johnson and Sean Bouchard had the best walk up songs. Florida Georgia Line. He's actually a West Coast guy.
Right, that's a good song.
Oh yeah. Dirk Bentley. What was I thinking? That's a classic.
Yeah.
And shoot, I think I'm drawing a blank on the last couple. But
Well, I'm going to drop a little.
That's my type of music.
I'm going to drop a couple of nuggets in your lap, and so you got to do a little homework for me on this one. So go listen to Reckless Kelly, and then Mickey and the Motor Cars is another. And so they're good old Idaho boys, and they're kind of the new country / kind of an alternative country kind of deal, and they're pretty fun to listen to. So.
All right.
Reckless Kelly and Mickey and the Motor Cars. So, well, we thank you for coming on the show, and good luck to you, and have a great season, and we hope to chat with you soon.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, thanks a lot, Kel.
All right, see ya.
Bye. So there you go, Kel Johnson of the national team, U18 team. And big country guy, so he is definitely one of the top prospects, top high school baseball players in the nation. Graciously giving us a few minutes today. He's on kind of a vacation. They're headed out to South Carolina to go fishing. So big family guy, and we thank Kel for coming on. So I am Norm. Over there is producer Brian. And we would like to thank our sponsors, Base by Pros, Mitch Canham. Go check him out on basebypros.com. And then his dad, Mark Canham, who does our shirts with MDM Designs. Check them out. They're both on Facebook. They do a great job. Follow us on 9inningknowitall.com. And we're also on Facebook. And once again, I am Norm. This is Clubhouse Chatter. And have a great day.